I'm gonna confess something that's going to sound probably monstrous or indelicate, at least. In the early days of this thing, a year or more ago, I had a sense of vast opportunity was opening up before us very quickly. And the opportunity was this. Heretofore, there's nothing in the news that in a single moment has the consequence of galvanizing the errant attention span of modern people long enough to remove their sense of personal volition and an out clause and replace it with a sense of implacable urgency that's non-negotiable. That's the way I saw the oncomingness of the plague. I thought this could be the big one. We were concerned, enormously concerned, and rightly so, about bodies piling in the streets and all the rest. That was a realistic concern in those days. Of course, that has not come to pass, except in a few places in the world, certainly not where I live. And the consequence has been what? A pining after, you guessed it, the good old used to be. Did you hear anybody parading in the streets in the pre-COVID days, celebrating the sheer, with giddiness, the sheer ability we had to congregate and be ourselves? I never saw anything of the kind. What about the idea that by virtue of the infectiousness and so on, there's no more funerals and there's no more wakes, or at least not legally? What about that? Yeah, well, that's a terrible loss. Wait a second. I'm going to go on record right now because I was in the trade. I was there. This is not a matter of opinion. I'm going to tell you that in those days when we had free rein to grieve without grievance, it had very few takers, man. That's why I had a job. That's why DieWise has sold in the numbers that it has. Because when the opportunity was there were very few takers. I was a drag then, and I'm a drag now for virtually the same reason. We haven't lost anything. We weren't exercising most of those things we now imagine have been deprived of us. See, a certain degree of mindless distraction, we've been deprived of that. Well, it's not a terrific loss. See, so, I mean, there's no way to sum up this sort of catastrophic take on the recent past. But I would say this, the COVID-19 is already a savagely lost opportunity. That's the loss that registers for me. That I'll finish with a little etymology, which will never fail you. So we have the word nostalgia. If you know anything about the list of ingredients on your headache prescription or whatever it is, you'll see the word algia somewhere in there, probably neuralgia or something of the kind. It means pain. Who knew? Nostalgia means something like the pain upon returning. Literally, home sickness. That's what nostalgia actually means. And the nostalgia for the pre-pandemic days will prove out to be another twist on our remarkable capacity to market to ourselves our own bewilderment and sorrows.